I think it will be one of the most raw and honest videos on my channel. And honestly, I was mentally preparing myself for this because if I would listen to my mind, I would never record this video. But God told me that you have to share your testimony. Like, you have to do this. I don't know what will happen next. Maybe it will help someone. I hope so. But like, I felt this urge to share my personal story. And this story is about how I found God. So the first thing that I want to start with is the year of 2022. So back then, I consider, and I still consider myself, that I was extremely successful in almost everything around my life, and especially around money and my financial situation. So I literally got what I wanted, I don't know, since I was a teenager. So what did I have exactly? I had a business that really satisfied me. Like, I was doing what I was supposed to do, and it felt extremely easy. Like, I earned, like, pretty much, for me back then, with extreme ease. Everything was extremely aligned. I was like following my soul's path like for 100%. So therefore, it brought me a lot of financial, material abundance as well. And I remember the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. And this was the main switch where it started to happen. And what exactly started to happen is my disconnection with God. And that's a really sad story. So I went to Dubai because Dubai was like my dream destination, and I really dreamt about it. And I went there, I thought like I'll stay there for longer, like I'll live there, but no. Still, I had another plan, like they had another plan for me. And at some point of my life, I started to think that I'm smarter than God. Like, I was extremely arrogant. I had a lot of pride. Like, it was huge. People call it ego, but through psychology, it's not ego, it's just the feeling of pride. And of course, narcissism. Like, I had this combination which literally destroyed me. And let me remind you a story how the devil became the devil. So once he was an angel, and he was one of the most favorite angels of God, morning star. But he decided that he was smarter than God. He decided that he knows what's right, what's wrong, not God. So he didn't felt this hierarchy he needed to follow. And we all know what happened next, right? How the devil became the devil. And that's why pride is the biggest sin that exists on earth. I feel extremely nervous recording this video, like I'm on high, and I told you from the beginning that I would never record it if I would listen to my mind. But my soul, God, guided me to this. And I hope I will post it too. I remember clearly that like I bought this Louis Vuitton bag, and there's some change that started to happen when I started to buy all this luxury stuff. I mean, I don't mind about the luxury stuff because I still need it, I still buy it, and like, but the thing has changed about my perception and like this core feelings inside of me, like I don't have pride anymore, and we'll get to this. But when I bought, for example, this bag, I started to think like I'm better than other people. And again, I understand now that, of course, it's like a trauma response, and I worked on this a lot. I know what I'm talking about, okay? But back then, I didn't realize, fully how destructive my thoughts were. And another example that I have is that, like, I saw some people, and I was in Dubai also as well, and like they don't have a luxury bag, and I would judge them for not having it. Like, how ugly was that, right? How ugly was that thought? I was thinking the same way I'm talking to you right now, that it was completely ugly, but my traumas, or I don't know, this feeling of pride mostly, took over me. And later, because I started to earn that much, because I started to have these things like this, luxury trips and all this stuff, I started to think like at some point of my life that I'm smarter than God, without even realizing that. Okay, like at some point of my life, I was like I will decide what I'll do. I hope you understand what I mean here, because honestly, we decide a zero thing. And it's a deeper thing to discuss and, to talk about, because I don't want to get into this direction right now, but we all have to follow God and what He tells us to do, what they tells us to do. And in March 2023, I felt so bad. I felt extremely anxious within me, because of my behavior, of like how I acted, how I showed up, how I presented myself to the world. And I remember I had the Instagram with like a lot of followers back then, and like I remember these stories where I like showed up so much, like again from this feeling of pride, and it's not random that pride, again, is the most sinister sin, the ugliest one. Not lust, not like eating too much, or not jealousy, but pride. So what happened next? Somehow I was traveling back then in 2023 for a whole year. I did my work because I was still connected to the spiritual realm, and like I'm a psychic, okay? And I can't be disconnected. When they activated me, it's impossible to disconnect from this power, like in my case, because I followed this path. But these internal feelings, they literally started to destroy me, because they destroyed my connection to God. They started they helped me to disconnect from God more, from this infinite power that was always guiding me, even when I didn't. Is the thing that even if you think that God is not guiding you, leading you, He's still guiding and leading you. Even when you act like like a piece of shit, He still does. He forgives everyone, okay? Even if you're not your best version, or you're the worst version, He still forgives you. That's the power of God. And I remember the year 2023 and some parts of 2024, when I still felt like something was wrong here. And the thing is that I tried to find God in religion. Like, I was Muslim for some time, because like I needed this, like I needed this connection. I wanted to remember who I am, like what is happening here. And of course I started to realize that something is wrong with me, obviously, like with this feeling of pride and narcissism that I had. And because the other thing of narcissism, like feeling yourself like you're someone's big, is this feeling of that you are a miserable person. That's like, two moods of a person who has narcissism and this huge feeling of pride. Like, in one day they think like I rule the world, and another day they think like I'm miserable, I'm worth nothing. So this was my attitude also in terms of many other things, like for example posting content. Like, I had thoughts like, for example, okay, like I'll post it and I'll get like a couple of thousand views, and like, for what do I need it? So I did my actions not because I wanted to share something, to give something to people, to change their lives. I did it for my ego, I did it for this feeling of pride. And again, it destroyed me. Right now in my story, we are coming to the most important part. By the end of 2023, and also I repeated the cycle in 2024, because again, I didn't find God exactly. But that was the most painful time in my entire life. So I lost literally everything. Like, literally. Still, I was in Dubai, and I did some projects, some programs, but what happened? Only one person bought it. It wasn't enough, for living in Dubai. Because if you know Dubai, you know Dubai, especially if you know how it's like to live there, right? So it wasn't enough. And I was literally in a situation that I couldn't buy myself a ticket even back to my hometown. And the thing was that I was like disgusted by an idea of coming back then, not now, back then, with my pride, these feelings that I had before, and I was like disgusted by the idea coming back where I'm from. Like, I was so disgusted because I was so like, this kind of feelings that I left this town, like I'll never come back there, and and it felt so like humiliating for me back then to go to this place that these feelings, they literally destroy me. And this month, like what was it, like around my birthday, by the way, November, December 2023, these feelings literally destroyed me inside. Like, I came to the point in my life that I realized like something was wrong. I had a session with a therapist, like, to figure out what is happening, like why I ended up in this situation, why I created this. And she reminded me of all of this. And from the beginning of our therapy with her that I had before, she told me about my pride, that I had huge ego, and we worked on this as well. But still I had it. I worked with her for a year, and still I had it. I came to the point in my life that I needed to go back to my hometown, in my parents' house. Like, imagine this humiliation I had. This was like a huge proof for me that God is here, and if you don't follow the rules, you will get punished. And it's not like He is punishing, you are punishing yourself. And I was punishing myself back then. Because again, I felt that my behavior around pride, around being this, egoistic person that I was, this behavior was wrong. And I understand it on the back of my mind. But I saw the results of my actions only in this situation. When I was crying, I was like, no, go back there. Thanks God for people who helped me. It's also about God. Like, God always helped me, like always. When I was like in my worst, in my best, He was always there, and I know that, and I feel this right now for 100% for sure. So I went back at my hometown, in my parents' house, after losing everything. And all of these things happened only because, again, I didn't listen to God. I didn't listen to my soul. I didn't listen to these answers that God was always giving me through my intuition, through my soul. Because our soul, intuition, it's all connected to God and how He talks to us. And the level of humiliation I felt, it was like huge. It was like skyrocketing before. Because God put me at my place. Like he showed me, like, you judge them, now you're at their place. And I was at the place of people I judged. I judged poverty, like, this peasant behavior. I don't know how to call it. In my opinion, it was like, acting like a peasant. So, and so on. And he put me in exactly this situation. For 2024, I still resisted God. I still had this feeling of pride for a little bit, and I worked on this. And I actually released it back then, that year. But still something was wrong. I still did not listen to God. Yes, I overcame my feeling of pride, and it was like the most difficult work I've ever done on myself. Because you will need to face, if you're also interested in this, how to do so, you'll need to face not only your glamorous, like your beautiful side, right? You think about yourself. You will need to face your miserable side, your insecure, miserable side. And when you'll do so, when you'll connect these two parts, you will become a whole person. That's what helped me. That would help me psychologically, because I think I helped myself in this, not only through therapy, and of course God helped me. God healed me. This year, 2025, I'll record another video about this year. It also will be really interesting and really raw and honest. I closed my old business, like, fully, because before I couldn't do that because of my fears. I felt unstable and so on. But in the beginning of 2025, I decided no, it doesn't work anymore. I do not feel aligned with this. Yes, I know there are so many people who love me, who will buy from me again and again, but it felt so like unaligned, like I was supposed to do something else, like what I'm doing right now, recording this video, for example. And I said, okay, I'm gonna do that. And God challenged me. God challenged my trust in him. God challenged me pretty much. He challenged my faith. He challenged me, my ability to feel my impulses, my soul again. He challenged my faith in him a lot, because at this point I literally, like, before I thought like I will lose everything, like I lost the income, of course, I lost the luxuries I had and so on. But still, I got some experiences which were good. I still visited Dubai back then, like a couple of times. But this year, I literally lost everything. Like, literally. And this was the most amazing experience I've ever had in my entire life. And I will tell you more about this in my another video, like probably the next one. And it will be about the devil archetype. So this year was really fun. Like, before I didn't get what was happening, but now I understand it was fun. It was a really interesting human experience. And how I found God, I understood that I do not decide a thing. Of course, I have free will, but if I want to live the most prosperous, the most abundant, the most, loving, this kind of life, that would be filled with this energy, huge energy of love, huge energy of abundance, expansion. Like, I have to give my life, my soul to God. It's not possible in the other way around. And God put me at the right place, that's for sure. So basically, yeah, I had no job. I even thought about going and having like normal job, but I understood, like, what are you thinking about here? I lost all the money, I lost friends, and thanks God I have a family that can help me, support me, even though before I had a thought like they would not, because again of my pride that I had before. And in this, nothingness, emptiness, I started to finally reconnecting with my soul. with myself, like what I really wanted. Because all of this noise of the material stuff that I had before, and again in Dubai, it's really intense energy, material energy. And you literally can lose yourself in this chase of another bag, another experience, another restaurant, and so on. So God removed everything from me and everyone as well, except my family, thanks God, for me to return back to myself. Do you feel this liberation? Do you feel this freedom? And I felt freedom as well. And now I understand that that was something that set me free and what helped me to find God. What helped me to release all of my all of the negativity, all the addictions I had before. And we'll talk about this in another video. I started to talk to God every day. I started to share with him or them what I think, what I feel. Can you guide me? Can you tell me what to do now, what to do next? Can you bring me this? Can you bring me that? And so on. And it literally started to unfold. I literally started to reconnect with my essence more and more and more and more. And I'm still in the process, by the way. When I truly tapped into this divine connection, everything has changed. And I don't remember exact particular moment. It's just, the whole situation. I realized that all this material stuff, and I had this knowledge before, but I lost it somehow. This whole material stuff is just a reflection of you, of your soul, of what you give to the world, of your impact, and it doesn't define you, like in any way. Yes, we live in the material world, and I know that I have to connect everything, and I connect them. Like I still want to live in luxury. I want material stuff, and I will have it on a really huge scale, and I know that. But it doesn't define me anymore. Because, for example, if God will tell me, like, you will need to quit this job or stop doing this, even though if I'll be really successful, I'll do that with no question. Because I know God has the best plan for all of us.